welcome back to my channel. My name is Melanie and I make videos about living in Copenhagen, and I sometimes do some different things on this channel. Today I thought that as it is so dark and gloomy outside, it's officially autumn here. It has been since the 1st of September, and the weather is just grey and rainy. We had torrential rain on Friday. As you can see behind me, we have been celebrating a birthday this weekend. It's my son's 11th birthday. But today I thought I'd do something a little bit different and talk to you about some things that you can do to brighten up your autumn, just using things that are around you. Now, I've been out to our garden this morning. Now, I know not everybody has a garden that they can forage in, but you know, it's okay to forage around in, you know, pathways that you go around. If you walk through woods or forest, you know, just take little bits and bobs from trees that you can use to make an autumn wreath, which is what I'm going to do today. Now, I have this hoop left over from when I went to a crafting event a couple of years ago. Actually, I think it was. We made a Christmas wreath with natural foliage, and I learnt a lot from that. And I'll put a link below to the lady who runs this course that I went on. But as I like to reuse things and keep hold of stuff, I kept hold of this hoop, which she'd covered with some florist tape. Now, I have some florist tape. This is florist tape. You can buy this in craft shops. You can get it from Amazon and various other places. But what she's done is she's taken this hoop, which comes from Sustrina Gren, I think, and she's covered it with some of the florist tape. And I added the ribbon myself just so I can hang it up on the door. Now, I'm going to take this ribbon off for now while I'm making the wreath. But what I did was I went in the garden, and we've got some peonies in the garden. And as they're turning in the autumn, they become a beautiful colour like this. So I picked up some peony leaves. Not all of them are as pretty, but I think they'll look okay when I put them together. These are the ones that had the nicest colour on them. Also, these berries that grow in our garden, I don't know exactly what these berries are. It's not focusing on them. I don't know exactly what these berries are. They're probably poisonous, so if you're doing this kind of thing, make sure that you wash your hands afterwards and you don't let children touch the berries. I also managed to find some rosehip in the garden, some ivy. Our neighbours have tons of ivy. It drives me insane. It climbs over our fence, and I cut it back every so often, but I think the ivy is going to be quite nice for this. There's some more ivy, and we have a shrub in the garden. Now, I'm useless at knowing what things are, but this is the shrub that I picked up in the garden. Oh, that focus that time. Some red. So I basically looked for some nice kind of autumnal colours to put together with this wreath. So without further ado, I'm going to stop talking and tilt the camera down so you can see what I'm doing, and let's see if we can make a really nice autumn wreath just with things that I've gathered from the garden and a very inexpensive metal hoop. So let's get started. I've made the base, as I see it, using ivy to make it there. Now, some bits are slightly heavier with the ivy than the other, so I think naturally it seems to fall like that. It seems to fall like that. Now, I'm just going to trim off a few bits that stick out a little that are here. So there we go. So that's the ivy base done. Now I'm going to build up with some of the more colourful bits on here. So let's do that. So there we go. Now, I think that probably took me about 15 minutes to pull the whole thing together. It looks pretty rustic. I think that I could probably add to it if I went out in the garden and gathered up a few more bits and bobs, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stick with it as it is. I'm going to put the ribbon on it and I'm going to hang it outside the door. I'm hoping that the foliage that I've chosen will keep nicely and perhaps go even more red when it's hung up. Now it's been cut off the branches and the trees. One thing that I've learned as I've been doing this is keep your two tools separate so you don't keep picking up your secateurs instead of your wire cutters. Also, put some newspaper down on the table because I've made a bit of a mess of my table. But a plus point is definitely start with your ivy, because I use that a lot to actually stick some of the other stuff down as well. And make sure that you tidy up any of your wires that are sticking out the back. But I am happy with that. I'm pleased with what I've made there. I'm going to find the ribbon again and all my pile of stuff here and decide which way I think it should hang. Now I deliberately put the rose hips at the bottom, but I'm not sure whether it goes better. I think it goes quite well like that. So I'm going to pop the ribbon around that portion of it. Now I am in no way an expert at doing this. I've seen this on Pinterest. As I say, I went to one session about making natural wreaths where I learnt some of these techniques, but because I've been making paper flowers for quite a few years, I'm kind of used to using this wire and the tape as well and getting to know that. But really it's just making it how you want it to look. I mean, you know, no one's judging this. You're going to put it outside your door. Something just came off, so I have to put it back on again. See, this is what you'll find as you're going through. You may find things have loosened a little and you need to add a little bit more wire to it. And another thing I would say, in case you're watching this and thinking you couldn't do this, some of you may know if you've been following me for a while, but almost 6 years ago I had quite a serious bike accident, and it caused me some damage to the nerves in my left hand, which is, I'm quite thankful that it is my left hand and not my right hand. But it does mean that doing projects like this can be a little bit challenging for me, because this hand doesn't really work as well as the other in terms of gripping and dexterity. Something just fell on the floor. Dexterity. So, you know, if you're thinking, oh, well, you know, she can do this, I can't. Basically, as you can see, anybody can make a wreath like this. If you just watch how I did it, I will probably speed up some of the sections where I'm putting it together. But it's been about a 15-minute project, and now I have a lovely autumn wreath to hang outside and brighten it up a little bit when I come to the door. Now, if you do this and you don't know what the plants are, because I don't know what some of these plants are, then I would really recommend that immediately after doing this you wash your hands, which is what I'm going to go and do now. And then I'm going to hang this up and I'm going to take a little bit of a video for you to see what it looks like outside the front door. There it is, there's the finished wreath. Now I'm not going to turn the camera around on myself now, I'm just going to talk just for a few moments just about that. Now this was something, and I know we bandy this around a lot, you know, it was very mindful, but it was. I sat at the table, I know I was filming it for you to see, but you know, I sat at the table, I went out, I went around our garden and I picked up some lovely autumn foliage, and you can do that wherever you are, even if you don't have a garden. You know, foraging is perfectly fine. You could combine it with a lovely autumn walk, find some beautiful, just the odd leaf here and there, pop it in a basket, bring it home and make something like this. The ring itself that I put it on was very inexpensive, but it was something to do just to focus my mind on something that isn't coronavirus, isn't the things that are going on around us, isn't, you know, just everyday life. It was just doing something that was a little bit fun. So I hope you've enjoyed this. It was a little bit different from usual, but I think it is part of kind of Danish life, you know, bringing nature into your home and celebrating the seasons and really making the most of being cozy or hygge together. So I'm looking forward to people, my family coming home today, seeing this here. Hopefully they notice it and they like it and it hasn't blown away. But if you enjoyed this video, do give me a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribing, do subscribe. I love crafting and I might bring a little bit more of it in terms of seasonality and also the celebrations that we have here in Denmark in the autumn and the winter. So until next time, bye for now, and I'll see you soon.